So what's going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video where today we are going to be talking about COD 2020, which it seems like the name could be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. A very strange name indeed, but when you think about it, it kind of does make sense. The Black Ops series is very successful. Activision would want to keep this name just because it is so well known, and because it's supposed to be a reboot, not an exact continuation of the Black Ops storyline that we know so far. It won't be continuing off from BO3 since BO4 didn't have a campaign, although there was bits of storyline information with the specialist characters. Calling it Black Ops 5 or Black Ops V just wouldn't work since it's a reboot. To me, that would suggest that they're continuing on with the story, and so in order to keep the Black Ops name, it looks like it's going to be called, from leaks, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So anyway, what I wanted to do in this video is just go over every single detail that we know so far, every leak that we've had, so if you don't want leaks, then click off now. I want to talk about the campaign, the story, the multiplayer, and also zombies, since we know it is a Treyarch game. Zombies is a staple for Treyarch, so I'm pretty sure we can expect that. Anyway, getting straight into it, we've had rumours for quite a long time now that this year's COD 2020 is going to be developed by Treyarch. Originally, it was supposed to be made by Sledgehammer Games. Their last game was World War II, so following the 3-year cycle that we have, it goes Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and then Treyarch. So this year, it was supposed to be Sledgehammer making the game. However, halfway through the development cycle, Activision put Treyarch in charge, and it is Sledgehammer who are assisting on the side. Treyarch are the main developers. A lot of people seem to think that this year's COD won't be as good for that reason, since they haven't had the full 3 years to work on it, but technically the game has been worked on for 3 years. It's just in the first year and a half it was worked on by Sledgehammer, and in the last year and a half, Treyarch would have taken the lead. The reason for that, I'm not too sure. Maybe Activision saw what Sledgehammer were doing, they didn't like what they were working on, and so told them to step aside. Or perhaps they just thought Treyarch are the better developers, their games are more sellable, and so told them to step in. And it's also going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with next year's Call of Duty in 2021, since that was the year Treyarch was supposed to be releasing their game. So are they still working on 2021's COD as well? Or is it now Infinity Ward doing that? Or have Sledgehammer taken that place? I mean, thinking about it, next year should be Treyarch's game as well. They would have already been working on it before they took over Sledgehammer's. So we could have 2 Treyarch games within this year and next year. Anyway, so we already knew that this year's COD was being developed by Treyarch. We had a rumour that it was going to be a reboot of the Black Ops series, but we didn't know the name. But just a couple of days ago, someone by the name of Hakimi over on Twitter leaked to us that it's going to be called Black Ops Cold War. This guy is extremely credible. He leaked the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I think it was like 6 months before it released. He's also released other content to do with Activision. Another credible leaker, who is the Gaming Revolution, leaked the name Black Ops Cold War as well. So it seems like that's going to be the name of the game. And over on Twitter, some of the Treyarch developers suspiciously have blacked out their headers. You can see here David Vonderhaar has blacked his Twitter out. The same for Brian, who is the audio director at Treyarch, and Dan Bunting, who is the co-studio head. This reminds me of, I think it was Black Ops 3, where just before the reveal of that game, the developers also blacked out their Twitter, and you can see the correlation between the two, the game being called Black Ops, and the developers blacking out their Twitter. This could be them teasing us, giving us hints towards what their next game is going to be. This could also be them hinting that the next game is going to be a reboot. If they're blacking out their Twitter, they're starting afresh. Could they be saying Black Ops Cold War is also going to be starting afresh? It's a reboot. There might be a few people saying, well, if it's a reboot, couldn't they have just done what Infinity Ward did and called it Call of Duty Modern Warfare? It could have been Call of Duty Black Ops. But the difference is the original Modern Warfare was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, whereas the original Black Ops was Black Ops. It wasn't Call of Duty 5 Black Ops. So that's one way, even though I bet a ton of people didn't know that, you can distinguish the two. Perhaps calling it just Call of Duty Black Ops would be too confusing. Another piece of information that we have is it seems like some of the original voice actors from the original Black Ops game won't be returning. One of those is James C. Burns, who played Woods. If Woods does return in Black Ops Cold War, that could be likely if we look at the Modern Warfare reboot. We have old characters return in that game, such as Price, however, he isn't played by the same voice actor. So if Woods does return in Black Ops Cold War, it looks like he won't be played by the original voice actor, who was James. You can see here somebody on Twitter asks him, "Hey James, there are rumours going around that Woods and Mason are coming back, but voiced by others. Please can you tell me if these are false?" And James replies, "I really have no info on the next COD, keep checking," and then he lists his YouTube. Obviously, if he was voice acting it, he couldn't say anyway, but if you've been watching his YouTube channel over the past year or so, him and Treyarch haven't been the best of friends, so even without this information, I couldn't see him coming back to play the role. Another interesting thing that I wanted to talk about that's kind of been revealed over the past couple of days is to do with Warzone. As you may or may not know if you play the game, there are loads of bunkers around the map. Lately, one of them, Bunker 11, is able to be opened, and within here, there are plenty of tutorials around if you want to know how to do it, but underground in Warzone, in the bunker, there is a nuclear warhead. And people have been suggesting, even Eurogamer, who have their own sources, that COD 2020 is going to be revealed in Warzone. Over the next couple of weeks, we are going to get teasers that we can find in Warzone that will eventually reveal Black Ops Cold War, and the nuclear warhead is our first teaser. And again, this seems likely. Warzone is set in Verdansk. Verdansk is in Russia. The Cold War was mainly between the Soviet Union and the United States. There was tension built up between the two sides in the 1960s, both having nuclear capabilities. So this nuclear warhead could be our first teaser for the Cold War. And over the next couple of weeks, we could be seeing more. Infinity Ward and Activision have already said that they are going to continue to support Warzone. It seems to me like they want to make this the hub of Call of Duty, similar to how other games have done in the past. Because it's a free game mode, it's called Call of Duty Warzone, not Modern Warfare Warzone. Like other Call of Duty games, where they go on to tease the next one. Black Ops 4 teased Modern Warfare, for example. Modern Warfare could tease Black Ops Cold War, and this could be our first one. As for when we're going to get a trailer, I'm not too sure. We are actually past the expected date. Usually we get them at the beginning of May. We are already more than halfway through now. I reckon early June we could get a trailer. Of course, with the coronavirus, that would have set everything back. But that is pretty much all of the information that we have so far on COD 2020. I do quickly want to talk about zombies, since we can guess that's going to be included. I am kind of interested to know what the third mode is going to be. Maybe it's just the campaign, zombies and multiplayer. The only reason we had Blackout in BO4 was because we didn't have a campaign. I don't know, but quickly just talking about zombies. If the whole game is a reboot, then perhaps that's what zombies is going to be as well. In my opinion, there are 3 different options on how they can take this. Either one, we have a reboot of the Ether storyline. If you're not familiar with zombies, that is the one that includes Richtof and Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey, the one that we've had since 2008. Recently, it's come to an end, and I can't see them continuing off with that. I think it's completely finished. So they could reboot the Ether storyline. We have Richtofen in the crew again, just that, similar to the campaign. We follow a new story, we start over. The second option is we continue with just the Chaos story. That was left on a big cliffhanger in BO4, it wasn't finished. So either they leave it unfinished, or it returns in the next game. And the third option is we just start totally new. There's no Chaos story, there's no Ether, and they start a brand new storyline with new characters. Let me know in the comments section below which out of those 3 options you would like to see. We also should note that 2 main developers have recently left Treyarch. Jason Blundell, who was the head of zombies, he'd been in charge since the end of BO2. He did Mob of the Dead and Origins, and then all of the BO3 and 4 maps. He left at the end of Black Ops 4. As you can see right here, this is a message from Jason. This was posted on Treyarch's Twitter page, where he said, "After 13 fantastic action-packed years, I am moving on from Treyarch. During my time at the studio, I have been privileged to work on a variety of projects, wearing many hats along the way, with my time on the Zombies team proving to be quite special. It's a team comprised of some of the most creative and talented developers in the industry, many of whom you never see because they're behind the scenes shaping the direction of each experience. Clearly, I'd be remiss if I didn't personally thank the group that continued to make it all worth it, the Zombies community. Your passion, enthusiasm, and frankly, your craziness has been a continued source of inspiration. The beauty of Zombies is that it's always about the interaction between us, the developers, and one of the most passionate player communities on the planet. These are memories I will cherish for a lifetime. The team at Treyarch has been nothing short of awesome. Thank you. And thank you to the fans for giving me the opportunity to bring life to the undead in so many wonderful ways. The honour has been all mine." So with Jason being the head of Zombies leaving, clearly that means changes. A lot of what we saw in BO3 and 4 was his idea. Whether or not you liked his BO3 and BO4 maps is totally up to you, but obviously someone else would have to take charge. So with a new leader of zombies, that brings new ideas, new creativeness that we haven't seen before, and that could also be the perfect opportunity for a new storyline. Obviously there are still loads of old Treyarch members working on zombies. Craig Houston is one of the main developers, he's still there, but undoubtedly it will be different. And another member, he previously worked on Infinite Warfare zombies, but later on moved to Treyarch. I'm not 100% sure how many maps he worked on. I think it was towards the end, so possibly just Alpha Omega and Tag der Toten. He might have had some influence on, but he also left Treyarch as well. Like I said, I don't really think he had too much to do with Treyarch zombies. He was more in charge of Infinite Warfare, but he's no longer here either. So if you ask me, I think this is the perfect time to start a new story, with the person who was partly responsible for creating BO3 and BO4 story having left. This is the perfect time for someone new to come in and create a new one using their vision. But of course we'll just have to wait and see. So there we go, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, drop a like rating if you have enjoyed, make sure you are subscribed. Thank you guys for watching and I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.